Hello, everybody. Yoko007 here, bringing you another exciting game in the 2008 replay with Inside Pitch. In today's game, we've got the 12 and 14 Houston Astros taking on the 11 and 14 Arizona Diamondbacks. This is game one of a three-game series between the Astros and the Diamondbacks. Who's going to take the first game? Will it be the Astros? Will it be the Diamondbacks? We're going to find out in 9 innings time. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Houston Astros. Leading off, the second baseman, Kazuya Matsuri. Batting second, the center fielder, Michael Bourne. Batting third, the shortstop, Miguel Tejada. Batting fourth in the cleanup position, the first baseman, Lance Berkman. Batting fifth, the left fielder, Carlos Lee. Batting sixth, the right fielder, Hunter Pence. Batting seventh, the third baseman, Mark Loretta. Batting eighth, the catcher, J.R. Towles. And batting ninth, the pitcher, Chris Sampson. On the mound for the Diamondbacks, it is Dan Hurren. He'll come in today's game with a starting ERA of a 3.48. He's got 1 win and 1 loss. He's pitched 31 innings, allowed 31 hits. Also has 31 strikeouts and 10 walks. We're here at Chase Field, which gives a +2 to strikeouts and a -1 to walks and nothing to home runs. And with that, Kazuya Matsuri, batting a .270, makes his way over to the batter's box as the home plate umpire dusts it off. And we're ready for the first pitch. 3-1, column 3, row 1. We're going to start this game off with the @ symbol. If you roll the @ symbol as a result off of the picture card, you'll resolve the play using the ballpark card. So we're going to resolve the play off the Chase Field card, and that is a 5-2, column 5, row 2, double star 5. That's going to be a fly ball back there to Barnes as he eyes it up. Makes the catch and puts one away. Let's take a look at the starting defense for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Barnes will be out there in left field. Young will be in center. Upton at right. Going around the horn, we've got Reynolds on third, Drew at short, Hudson will be on second, Jackson at first, Snyder will be behind the plate, and Herring will be on the mound. Michael Bourne batting a 176, and that'd be a 6-3, column 6, row 3. That is a strikeout. Now remember, the strikeout range, we add a +2. So Bourne's strikeout range now becomes a 1 to 14. That is an 11. Struck him out. Struck him out, and that's going to break, and that will be 2 away. Michael Tejada batting a 298. And that'll be a 4-1, column 4, row 1. Home run chance on a 1 to 15. That is a 2. It passed the first part of the home run check. Now, we'll roll for Tejada. It's got to be a 7 or less. And that is an 8 outside of the range there. So it's a 1-4, column 1, row 4. And that'll be good for a base hit. So Tejada's on with a base hit, keeps the inning alive going for the Astros. And remember, with 2 outs, we do add a +1 to the base run rating when we do have runners on base with 2 outs. Also, we do roll for strategy. Strategy roll is a 6, so the Astros are going to hold off on strategy. Berkman batting a 280. Infield at normal depth, and here is the pitch. And that'll be a 3-5, column 2-5. Column 2, row 5. That is a split result. Now, On a split result, you're going to take off of the pitcher card. You're going to take a look at the batter to see if the batter is left or right-handed. In this case, Berkman is a switch hitter, so he's batting left today. So we'll take a look on the left-handed side of the slash, and that is a walk. On a 1 to 16, that is an 8. It is in range. And with that, we've got runners on first and second. Strategy rolls a 14. Carlos Lee up. Lee batting a 4-15. 2 outs, runners on first and second. And the pitch, and that'll be a 3-6, column 3, row 6, hit by pitch. Now, Dan's hit by pitch rating makes the range a -2 modifier. That makes it a 3. We check the D20, which is the blue die. That is a 3, and he got hit. And that'll load the bases up. So the Astros got the bases loaded. Hunter Pence batting a 236. Strategy rolls at 9. Astros holding off. And that'll be a 2-5, column 2, row 5. That is a blank. And that'll be a 6-1, column 6, row 1. Fly ball back there to right field. Upton will get underneath it. And that will retire the side. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors. And the Astros will leave them loaded. We go to the bottom of the first, and here is the starting lineup for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Leading off, the center fielder, Chris B. Young. Batting second, the left fielder, Eric Barnes. Batting third, the second baseman, Orlando Hudson. Batting fourth in the cleanup position, the first baseman, Connor Jackson. Batting fifth, the third baseman, Mark Reynolds. Batting sixth, the right fielder, Justin Upton. Batting seventh, the shortstop, Stephen Drew. Batting eighth, the catcher, Chris Schneider. And batting ninth, the pitcher, Dan Herring. On the mound for the Astros, it is Chris Sampson. Sampson will start today's game with an ERA of a 2.66. He's got 1 win and no loss. He's pitched 23 2/3 of an inning, allowed 23 hits, 15 strikeouts, and 10 walks. Chris B. Young batting a 198 as we start the bottom half of the first inning. 3-6, column 3, row 6. That is a blank. And that'll be a 6-2, column 6, row 2. That's going to be a base hit past the shortstop. When it's a split result off of the batter card, you take a look at the pitcher card and see if the pitcher is left or right-handed. So in this case, Chris Sampson is right-handed. So we will look at the right-handed side of the slash. And just like that, the Diamondbacks lead off with a base hit. Let's take a look at the starting defense for the Houston Astros. Lee will be out there in left field. Byrne will be out there in center field. Pence will be in right. Going around the horn, we've got Loretta on third. Teja will be at short. Matsui on second. Berkman at first. Towles will be behind the plate, and Sampson will be on the mound. No outs, infield at double play depth. Strategy roll is a 17, and that is going to bring up Eric Barnes. Diamondbacks standing pat on that. So when we're at double play depth, the range becomes a -1. Ground double plays will get a +1, and the runner on third, if we had one, would be a -1. Eric Barnes batting a 250. And that'll be a 6-1, column 6, row 1 at the ballpark. And that'll be a 6-6, column 6, row 6, ground ball to Matsui. We will check for double play rating. That will, and let's see, Sampson will give a +1, Teja being the pivot On balls hit to G4, the pivot will be the shortstop on a right-handed batter. So Teo will add nothing. That makes it a 5. We take 1d6, roll it against the ground double play rating. And it says here, if the roll is less than or equal to the ground double play rating, it becomes a double play. That is a 5. The 3 is in range, and that will be a 3-6-3 double play. So it's a 3-6-3 double play, and that's going to bring up Orlando Hudson. Hudson batting at 325. 6-3, column 6, row 3, range play at the ballpark. Now, on a range play, we will check the first number of the defense. And whose range are we checking? And that'd be a 6-2, column 6, row 2, double star 1. It's going to be a ground ball to Loretta. Loretta's range is a 1-3. That is a 2. He'll make the catch. And that will retire the side. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and none left on. After 1, we're tied at 0. We go to the top of the second. Mark Loretta, J.R. Towles, and Chris Sampson due up for the Astros. Mark Loretta batting a 238. And that'll be a 2-4, column 2, row 4. That is a strikeout on a 1-9. The 11 is too high. And that'll be a 5-1, column 5, row 1, fly ball back there to left field. Barnes will see it, chases it, makes the catch, and puts 1 away. J.R. Towles batting a 119. And that'd be a 6-2, column 6, row 2, range play at the ballpark. So we'll resolve the play on Chase Field. That'll be a 3-5, column 3, row 5, fly ball back there to Young. His range is on a 1-4. It's a 3. Young makes the catch. And that'll put 2 away. And Young is 5 for 13 on his range plays. Chris Sampson batting a 571. And that'll be a 3-6, column 3, row 6, hit by pitch. Remember, Herring is a -2, hit by pitch is a 0 for Sampson. And that'll be a 3-1, column 3, row 1. That's going to be good for a base hit. So Sampson on with a base hit. And with that, we go to the top of the order. Kazui Matsui 0 for 1 today. Strategy roll is a 5. Infield at normal depth. Astros are going to stand pat. And that'll be a 3-4, column 3, row 4. That is a strikeout on a 1-9. That is a 4. Struck him out. Struck him out, and that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and the Astros will leave 1 stranded. Go to the bottom of the second. Connor Jackson, Mark Reynolds, and Justin Upton due up for the Diamondbacks. Connor Jackson batting a 259. And the pitch is going to be a 3-6, column 3, row 6. That is a blank. And that'll be a 3-5-3, column 5, row 3. Ground ball down the first baseline. Berkman gets it, tags the base, and puts 1 away. Mark Reynolds batting a 272. And that'll be a 5-1, column 5, row 1, range play. Whose range are we checking? That'll be a 4-2, column 4, row 2, ground ball to Loretta. Loretta's range, he was 4 for 6. On a 1-3, that is a 1. He makes the catch. And that puts 2 away. Justin Upton batting a 244. And that'll be a 5-2, column 5, row 2, 2 outs, nobody on. Infield still at normal depth. It's a range play. And that'll be a 2-4, column 2, row 4. It's a base hit out there in the left field. Lee's ranges on a 1-2. It's a 1. Lee makes the catch. Hustles it, makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning. They go down in order. No runs, no hits, and no errors as the Astros retire the Diamondbacks in order after 2. We're still tied at 0. We go to the top of the 3rd. Michael Bourne, Miguel Tejada, and Lance Berkman due up for the Astros. Michael Bourne 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And that'll be a 2-3, column 2, row 3. That is a wild pitch. Nobody is on, so on a wild pitch, we're going to roll for the batter. And that'll be a 2-6, column 2, row 6. That is going to be a ground ball to second base. Hudson will make the catch there. Throws it over to Jackson for out number 1. Miguel Tejada batting is 1 for 1. And that'll be a 6-2, column 6, row 2, range play at the ballpark. And that'll be a 6-1, column 6, row 1, fly ball back there to Upton. Upton's range is on a 1-3. It's a 1. Upton makes the catch. And Upton is 6 for 9 on range plays. Lance Berkman walked his last time up. And that'll be a 5-1, column 5, row 1. That is a strikeout. On a 1-12, the 15 is too high. 5-1, column 5, row 1. That's going to be a fly ball back there to Barnes. Barnes makes the catch. And that will retire the side. So the Diamondbacks return the favor and retire the Astros in order. 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, and no errors. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It's Stephen Drew, Chris Schneider, and Dan Herring due up for the Diamondbacks. Stephen Drew batting a 275. And that'll be a 5-3, column 5, row 3. Home run on a 1-11. The 20 is too high. And that'll be a 4-4, column 4, row 4, double start 2. Ground ball down the first baseline. Berkman will make the catch there. And that'll put 1 away. Chris Schneider batting a 245. Schneider 5-6, column 5, row 6. That is a blank. And that'll be a 4-4, column 4, row 4. Fly ball back there to Lee. Lee will make the catch. And that'll put 2 away. Dan Herring. He's been in 7 games, 11 at-bats, 1 RBI. No average just yet. And that'll be a 6-6, column 6, row 6, hit by pitch. Sampson gives a -3. That makes it a 0. And that'll be a 6-4, column 6, row 4. It's going to be a base hit past the shortstop. And with that, Dan is on with a base hit. Top of the order, as we flip over, Chris Young, 1 for 1. Strategy rolls a 7. Diamondbacks holding off 2 outs. Runner on first. Infield at normal depth. And that'll be a 3-2, column 3, row 2. That is a blank. And that'll be a 3-4, column 3, row 4. It's a double out there in the left field. Into center field. And with that, Dan will go to third. Young goes to second. We'll check for runner advancement. If the roll is less than or equal to, Dan is base run rating is a 2. The die roll is a 3. And the stop sign goes up. They'll hold him at third. Eric Burns 0 for 1. Strategy roll is a 6. Diamondbacks standing pat. And the pitch. And that'll be a 6-5, column 6, row 5. Home run chance on a 1 to 13. The 4 is in range. It needs to be a 7 or less for Eric. It's a 15 and no, it's a 1-6, column 1, row 6. It's a pop-up to third base. Loretto will get underneath it and makes the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on for the Diamondbacks. After 3, we're tied at 0. We go to the top of the 4th. Carlos Lee, Hunter Pence, and Mark Loretta due up for the Astros. Carlos Lee batting is 0 for 0. 4-4. Column 4, row 4. That is a strikeout on a 1 to 7. The 11 is too high. 2-6, column 2, row 6. A double star 4. That is going to be a ground ball to the shortstop to Drew. He'll make the catch, throw it over to Jackson, and that'll be out number 1. Hunter Pence 0 for 1 today, and that'll be a 5-2, column 5, row 2. Strikeout on a 1 to 13. The 12 is in range. Struck him out. Struck him in, and that'll bring up Mark Loretta. Loretta is 0 for 1. That'll be a 3-1, column 3, row 1 at the ballpark. And that'll be a 5-1, column 5, row 1. That is a blank. Now, a blank off of the ballpark card is a rare play. So let's see what the rare play is. There were 3 blanks on every ballpark card. If one of them comes up, you will check the rare play chart. And in this case, it's a slow roll to the pitcher who possibly bobbles it, then throws it wide to first. Resolved by rolling against the pitcher's error rating, first for the bobble, then for the throw. There is no error by Dan Herring, so that will retire to the side. As the Astros go down in order, no runs, no hits, and no errors. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Orlando Hudson, Connor Jackson, and Mark Reynolds due up for the Diamondbacks. Orlando Hudson 0 for 1. The pitch 2-3, column 2, row 3. That is a walk. On a 1 to 9, the 14 is too high. By the way, Chris Sampson can face 4 more batters before he is considered tired. And that'll be a 3-4, column 3, row 4. It's a ground ball back up the middle to Sampson. He'll make the catch, throw it over to Berkman. And that'll be out number 1. Connor Jackson 0 for 1. And that'll be a 2-2, column 2, row 2. That is a blank. And that'll be a 4-2, column 4, row 2. It's going to be a base hit past the shortstop. And with that, Jackson is on with a base hit. Mark Reynolds up. Reynolds is 0 for 1. Strategy roll is a 5. Diamondbacks standing pat. And that'll be a 1-1. Column 1, row 1. Possible error. Now, on an error check, that is the number in the bracket. And whose error range are we checking? It's going to be a 4-5, column 4, row 5. It's a ground ball to Loretta. His error range is on a 1 to 6. By the way, the infield is at double play depth with 1 out. And error check is a 1 to 6. That is a 14. No error there. So now we're going to check for double play. That makes it a 4. It's a +1. Remember, it's a +1 from the double play. So we add a +2 to the ground double play rating. The pivot is second base from third in this case. So we roll 1d6. That is a 4. The ground double play rating is a 4. It is a 5, 4, 3 double play. And that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and none left on. After 4, we're still tied at 0. We go to the top of the 5th. J.R. Towles, Chris Sampson, and Kazue Matsui due up for the Astros. Top of the 5th, J.R. Towles, 0 for 1, and the pitch. And that'll be a 1-4, column 1, row 4, possible error check. And who's the error, and who are we checking? 6-1, column 6, row 1, ground ball to Drew. His error range is on a 1 to 5. It's a 2. On a 1 to 4, that's to Hudson. Hudson makes an error. It's a 1-base error as he boots the ball. And Towles will get on by an E4. So, infield goes to double play depth. Strategy roll is a 10. That is a sacrifice play there on that. And we take a look over here on the bunting chart on a 10 to 19 off of the pitcher. If it is in that range with a butt rating and that'll be a 2-2. Column 2, row 2 at the ballpark. We're going to check for a bunt. It is a successful sac bunt on a 1 to 14. It is a good bunt. And it will bunt it right up the middle to the pitcher. 1 out, and that'll get Towles over to second. And we're going to have another bunting attempt on a 7 to 19. Kazue Matsui, top of the order, 0 for 2 with a strikeout and the pitch. Infield at normal depth, and that is going to be a 5-1, column 5, row 1. That is a strikeout. It is a successful sac bunt on a 1 to 4. On a 1 to 16, the 4, it is in range. And that'll be 2 outs. And Towles will go over into scoring position, and that'll bring up Michael Bourne. Bourne 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Strategy roll is a 14. Astros holding off. And the pitch. 5-2, column 5, row 2. That is a strikeout. We had a +2 modifier. That makes it a 1 to 14. The 16 is too high. And that'll be a 4-5, column 4, row 5. Ground ball down the first baseline to Jackson. He'll make the catch. And that'll be out number 3. So no runs, no hits, and 1 error, and 1 left on for the Astros. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Justin Upton, Stephen Drew, and Chris Schneider due up for the Diamondbacks. Taking a look here at Chris Sampson. Sampson can face 1 more batter before he is considered tired. Bullpen for the Astros starting to warm up, and that is going to be a 5-3, column 5, row 3. That is a strikeout on a 1-16. That is a 10. Struck him out. Struck him out, and that'll put one away. Steven Drew up, and with that, Chris Sampson is now tired. So that means if we roll a 2-6, a 4-5, or a 6-2, he will be pulled. Bullpen starting to warm up, and the pitch. 2-6, column 2, row 6. It's a base hit. And Drew smacks a base hit past Sampson, and here comes the skipper. And with that, we are going to make this call to the bullpen. And they're going to go with Chad. Chad is going to get the call up here. So Chad Paranto comes into the game with a 18 ERA. No wins, no loss. He's pitched 1 inning, allowed 3 hits. No strikeouts and no walks. Taking a look at the stats here for Chris Sampson. Sampson went 4 1/3 inning. He allowed 5 hits, 1 strikeout, an ERA of a 2.25. Chris Schneider is 0 for 1. Strategy roll is a 6, and here is the pitch. The infield, by the way, is at double play depth, and that'll be a 1-2. Column 1, row 2. Possible error on a throw, and that'll be a 1-4. Column 1, row 4. Ground ball to Teja. His error range is on a 1-5. It's an 18. There is no error there. We will check for double play. That is a 5. That is a 1 against the 5. And that is a double play. So no runs, 1 hit. No runs, 1 hit. No errors. And none left on. After 5, we're still tied at 0. We go to the top of the 6th. Miguel Teja, Lance Berkman, and Carlos Lee due up for the Astros. Miguel Teja, 1 for 2. Taking a look here at Dan Herring. Herring can face 7 more batters before he is considered tired. And here is the pitch. And that'll be a 6-3, column 6, row 3. That is a strikeout on a 1-8-10. Too high. 1-3, column 1, row 3. Fly ball back there to Upton. Upton gets underneath it, makes the catch, and puts 1 away. Lance Berkman 0 for 1 with a walk and the pitch. And that'll be a 2-2, column 2, row 2 at the ballpark. We're going to go to Chase Field. And that is a 1-5, column 1, row 5, ground ball to the shortstop. Drew gets the catch, throws it over to Jackson. And out number 2, 2 up, 2 down, and that's going to bring up Carlos Lee. Lee 0 for 1 and the pitch. Lee 3-6, column 3, row 6, hit by pitch. That makes it a 3. The 16 is too high. And that'll be a 1-3, column 1, row 3, pop up to the third base line. Reynolds gets underneath it, makes the catch, and that will retire the side. So no runs, no hits, and no errors, and none left on as the Diamondbacks retire the Astros in order, 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top. We go to the bottom of the 6. It's Dan Herring, Crispy Young, and Eric Burns due up for the Diamondbacks. Dan Herring, 1 for 1 today, and the pitch. And that'll be a 4-4, column 4, row 4. That is a blank. And that is a 6-2, column 6, row 2. Ground ball to the shortstop to Teja. He'll make the catch, throw it over to Berkman. And that'll be out number 1. Top of the order, Crispy Young, 2 for 2 today with a double so far in the game. And that'll be a 3-6, column 3, row 6 at the ballpark. And that'll be a 2-2, column 2, row 2. It's a pop-up behind the catcher. Towels underneath it. And it's an error. We have an error check. That is a 1. It is an error. That's a 1-base error. It's a foul ball. However, Young will get on by an E2. So both teams have committed an error in this game so far. Strategy roll is a 20. Anytime a 20 comes up on the strategy die, it is a pickoff attempt. However, Chad does not pick anyone off, but we'll still show the number. It is a 2 on the die roll there. Eric Barnes 0 for 2 today. And that'll be a 1-2, column 1, row 2, possible error on a throw. By the way, the infield is at double play depth, and that'll be a 6-4, column 6, row 4, ground ball to the shortstop to Teja. Error range is on a 1 to 5. Matsui is a 1 to 6. That is an 8. No error there. That is a 6 for the double play rating. That is a 5. It's a double play. It's a 6-4-3 double play. And that will retire the side. So no runs, no hits, and 1 error, and none left on for the Diamondbacks. After 6, we're still scoreless. We go to the top of the 7th. It's Hunter Pence. Mark Loretta and J.R. Towles due up for the Astros. Hunter Pence 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And the pitch. And that'll be a 2-1, column 2, row 1. That is a walk. On a 1 to 9, the 18 is too high. And that'll be a 2-3, column 2, row 3, double star 2. It's a ground ball to second base. Hudson will make the catch. And that'll put 1 away. Mark Loretta is 0 for 2, and here is the pitch. Loretta 1-2, column 1, row 2. That is a blank. And that'll be a 6-2, column 6, row 2. It's a ground ball to the shortstop to Drew. Drew will make the catch, and that'll put 2 away. J.R. Towles up. Towles is 0 for 2. And the pitch. And that'll be a 3-4, column 3, row 4. That is a strikeout. On a 1 to 15, that is a 1. Struck him out. As we sing, "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." No runs, no hits, and no errors. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Orlando Hudson, Connor Jackson, and Mark Reynolds due up for the Diamondbacks. Let's take a look at the box score. After 6.5 have been played here at Chase Field, and both teams have been putting up goose eggs so far. 2 hits for the Astros with 1 error. Diamondbacks have had 5 hits with 1 error. Orlando Hudson 0 for 2. It's Hudson, Jackson, and Reynolds due up. Chad can face 3 more batters. Bullpen for the Astros starting to warm up. And that'll be a 1-1, column 1, row 1. That is a blank. And that'll be a 3-4, column 3, row 4, ground ball up the middle to Chad. He'll make the catch, throw it over to Berkman for out number 1. 1 away, and that's going to bring up Connor Jackson, who is 1 for 2 today. 1 out, nobody on, infield at normal depth, and the pitch. And that'll be a 2-6, column 2, row 6. That is a hit by pitch. That makes it a 1. Chad gives a -10. The die roll is a 10. However, Jackson's hit by pitch rating goes to a 1 and does not get hit. He got out of the way in time, and that'll be a 2-2. Column 2, row 2, and that's going to be a ground ball to Teja. And that'll be 2 away. Mark Reynolds, 0 for 2, and the pitch. Reynolds, 1-6, column 1, row 6. That is a blank. And that'll be a 1-2, column 1, row 2. That is going to be a fly ball back there to Pence, as Pence will make the catch. That will retire the side, so no runs, no hits, and no errors, and none left on. After 7, we're tied at 0. We go to the top of the 8th. Chad Pardo, Kazui Matsui, and Michael Bourne due up for the Astros. Chad not going to take the hit here. We do have a new pitcher on the mound. Dan Herring is going to come out of the game. And with that, we're going to bring in Chad Quells. Quells going to come in to pitch. Quells comes into the game with a 1.13 ERA. He's got no wins and 1 loss, does have 1 save. He's pitched 8 innings, allowed 4 hits, 13 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Taking a look here at the stats for Dan, he went 7 innings, allowed 2 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, 1 hit by pitch. An ERA of a 2.84. And it is 9-1-2 due up for the Astros. Chad not going to take the hit here. And they are going to bring in Darren Estrad. Will come in. Darren comes into the game batting a 263. He's going to pinch hit, and here is the pitch. And that'll be a 3-3, column 3, row 3. That is a blank. Dan, 3-6, column 3, row 6, and that's going to be a fly ball back there to Upton. He'll make the catch, and that'll put 1 away. Top of the order, Kazui Matsui is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And that'll be a 3-6, column 3, row 6. That is a strikeout on a 1-9. The 9 is in range. Struck him out. Struck him out, and that'll put 2 away. Michael Bourne, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Bourne going to take the hit. And that'll be a 4-2, column 4, row 2, strikeout. On a 1-14, that is a 9, struck him out. And that will retire the side. So no runs, no hits, and no errors, and none left on. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Justin Upton, Stephen Drew, and Chris Schneider due up for the Diamondbacks. Astros have a new pitcher on the mound to start off the 8th inning. And they're going to bring in Jeff Gray. Jeff comes into the game with a 1.94 ERA. He's got 1 win and no loss. He's pitched 9 1/3 of an inning, allowed 6 hits, 8 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Now, Jeff does have a special K rating. We will talk about that when that comes into play. Taking a look at the stats here for Chad, he went 2 2/3 innings, an ERA of a 4.87. 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Diamondbacks. Justin Upton. Upton is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And they are going to make a little bit of change to their defense here. Lee going to come out at left field. And they're going to bring So Darren is going to take over at left field, and at second base, it's going to be Edwin, and that is it. That's going to be the changes there that they are going to make to their lineup, to the defense. Justin Upton is 0 for 2 with a strikeout, and here is the pitch. And that'll be a 4-4, column 4, row 4. That is a walk. On a 1 to 14, the 11 is in range, and that'll be good for a walk. So Upton gets walked to first. Stephen Drew is 1 for 2 today. Strategy rolls a 14. Diamondbacks going to hold off. Infield at double play depth, and here is the pitch. And that'll be a 4-6, column 4, row 6. That is a blank. 11 outside of the range. It's going to be a line drive to Berkman on a 3-5, column 3, row 5. Line drive down the first baseline. And the runner's doubled up. It's a double play. And they got both out, and that's going to bring up Chris Schneider. Schneider is 0 for 2 in the pitch. And that'll be a 5-6, column 5, row 6. That is a walk. On a 1 to 18, that is a 9, and that is going to be good for a walk. All right, keeps the inning alive. Chad Quell is going to come out, and they're going to bring in Miguel Montero to come in to pinch hit. Miguel comes into the game with a 2.50 ERA. He's batting a 250. Strategy roll 13. Diamondbacks going to hold off. Infield at normal depth. Runner on first. And that'll be a 1-6. Column 1, row 6. Strikeout plus. We at 10 on a strikeout plus the 2 from Chase Field. That's going to be a 12. That makes it a 1 to 25. That is an 11. Struck him out looking. And that will retire the side. So no runs, no hits, and no errors, and 1 left on for the Diamondbacks. After 8, we're tied at 0. We go to the top of the 9th. Miguel Teja, Lance Berkman, and Darren Estrada due up for the Astros. Will we see some 9th inning magic? And they're going to bring in Brandon Loyne to pitch. Loyne comes into the game with a 7.01 ERA. He's got 1 win and 1 loss, 2 saves. He's pitched 7 2/3 innings, allowed 11 hits, 7 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Taking a look at the stats here for Chad, he went 1 inning, allowed 2 strikeouts, and ERA of a 1.0. We'll take a look at the box score. Nothing has changed. We're still at 0 after 8. 2 hits for the Astros with 1 error. The Diamondbacks 5 hits with 1 error. It all comes. Will we see some 9th inning magic? Miguel Teja 1 for 3. Got to take the hit. And that'd be a 6-2, column 6, row 2, possible error. No change to their defense there. 6-1, column 6, row 1. It's a ground ball to Drew. His error range is on a 1 to 5. It's a 9, no error there. Drew will make the catch. and that puts one away. Lance Berkman, 0 for 2 with a walk. Berkman going to take the hit. And that'll be a 3-2, column 3, row 2. It's a strikeout. On a 1 to 12, the 14 is too high. And that'll be a 2-4, column 2, row 4. It's a ground ball to Drew. He'll make the catch, throw it over to Jackson. And that is out number 2. Darren Estrada is 0 for 1. He's going to take the hit. And that'll be a 6-4, column 6, row 4. That is a blank. And that'll be a 4-3, column 4, row 3, double star 2. Fly ball back there to Upton. He'll make the catch. And that will retire the side. So no runs, no hits, and no errors, and none left on. We go to the bottom of the 9th, top of the order, Crispy Young, Eric Barnes, and Orlando Hudson. Jeff Gray comes out of the game, and they're going to bring in Wesley White. Yeah. Jose Varela is going to come in. Actually, no, Doug Rokel. I'm second guessing myself here. Doug Rokel is going to come in. No ERA. He's got 1 win, no loss, 1 save. He's pitched 9 1/3 innings, allowed 5 hits, 5 strikeouts, and 4 walks. Taking a look at the stats here for Jeff. He went 1 inning, allowed 2 walks, 1 strikeout, and an ERA of a 1.75. Top of the order, Crispy Young is 2 for 3 with a double. And that'll be a 5-1, column 5, row 1. That is a strikeout. On a 1 to 15, the 20 is too high. And that'll be a 6-1, column 6, row 1. It's going to be a ground ball to Loretta. Out number 1. Eric Barnes, 0 for 3. Barnes going to not take the hit here. And they are going to bring in Josh Whiteshell. Whiteshell going to come in to hit. He's batting a 250. And that'll be a 5-6, column 5, row 6. It's a double question mark. So single and a 1 to 8, the 9 is too high. And that'll be a 3-3, column 3, row 3, and that's going to be good for a base hit. All right, Josh is on with a base hit. And they're going to bring in a pinch runner here. They're going to get Salazar to pinch run. Orlando Hudson is 0 for 3. Hudson going to take the hit. Strategy roll is a 6. Diamondbacks going to stand pat. Infield at double play depth and the pitch. And that is a 3-1, column 3, row 1. That is a walk. On a 1 to 9, the 19 is too high. And that'll be a 4-3, column 4, row 3. It's a double to Pence. And with that, Salazar will go to third. The stop sign goes up, and he would advance. But the base run rating is a 0, and the rule says if it is less than 1, the runners hold. Infield playing in. Connor Jackson is 1 for 3. The go-ahead run on third. Strategy roll is a 17. Diamondbacks standing pat. Here's the pitch. And that is a 1-2, column 1, row 2. It's a wild pitch. On a 1 to 7, it's a wild pitch. 8, it's a passed ball. It's an 11. Nothing happens. And that'll be a 3-5, column 3, row 5. It's a pop-up to Teja. He'll make the catch. And that'll be out number 2. 2 outs, and that's going to bring up Mark Reynolds. Doug is now tired. So if we roll a 1-6, a 2-6, or a 5-6, he will get pulled. And that is a 6-6, column 6, row 6, strikeout plus on a 1-30, the 17 in range, struck him out. Struck him out, and we are going to go into free baseball. And with that, at left field, Salazar going to take over at left field. First baseman, we're going to bring in Josh Whiteshell, going to take over at first. So that's going to be the order there. After 9, it's no runs, 2 hits, and no errors. We're still tied at 0. We go to the top of the 10th. Hunter Pence, Mark Loretta, and J.R. Towles due up for the Astros. And with that, Brandon Loyne comes. We do have a new pitcher on the mound. When we do get into extra innings, we do let the PC. We randomly decide who the pitcher is going to be, and that is going to be Billy Buckner will come in. Buckner comes into the game with a 14.65 ERA. No wins, no losses. He's pitched 4 1/3 of an inning, allowed 8 hits, 5 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Hunter Pence is 0 for 3. Pence going to take the hit. And that'll be a 5-2, column 5, row 2. Possible error on a throw. And that'll be a 4-4, column 4, row 4. Fly ball back there to Upton. Upton gets underneath it. Error range for Upton is on a 1-14. That is a 9. That's a 1-base error. And with that, Pence will get on by an E9. Infield double play depth. Mark Loretta is up. He's 0 for 3 today. Strategy roll is a 16. Loretta going to take the hit. And that is going to be a 3-6, column 3, row 6. Strikeout on a 1-9. The 5 in range. Struck him out. Struck him out, and that'll bring up J.R. Towles. Towles is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. We have a steal attempt. Are they going to send him? No, they're not going to send him. Towles is 0 for 3. Towles going to take the hit. Towles 5-3, column 5, row 3. That is a blank. And that'll be a 4-4, column 4, row 4. Ground ball to Drew. Drew will make the catch. Double play chance, pivot on balls hit to the shortstop. On a right-handed batter, it's going to be Hudson. +1 from Buckner. That makes it a 5. The 2 in range, and that is a double play, 6-4-3. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, and 1 error, and none left on. We go to the bottom of the 10th. Justin Upton, Stephen Drew, and Chris Schneider due up. Brokaw going to come out. It's going to be Jose Veraldi. Veraldi is going to come into the game. He comes in the game with a .77 ERA, 1 win, no loss. He's got 3 saves. He's pitched 11 2/3 of an inning, allowed 6 hits, 16 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Upton is 0 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout, and that'll be a 1-6. Column 1, row 6. That is a walk on a 1-14. The 5 in range, and that'll be good for a walk. So Upton will go to first. Drew, and that'll bring up Stephen Drew. Drew is 1 for 3. Strategy roll 14. Diamondbacks going to hold off. Infield double play. And that'd be a 4-2, column 4, row 2, possible error on a ground ball. And that'll be a 2-5, column 2, row 5, ground ball to Teja. His error range is on a 1 to 5. It's a 15, no error there. And with a 6, on a roll of a 6, the play is only at first. So Upton will go to second. And with that, it's a field. So the out is at first, and that's going to move Upton into scoring position. Chris Schneider is 0 for 2. Schneider not going to take the hit here. And they're going to bring in Chad Tracy. Tracy going to take the hit. And here is the pitch for Tracy. Tracy batting a 167. And that'll be a 1-2, column 1, row 2. That is a blank. And that'll be a 5-2, column 5, row 2. It's a double to Pence. And that's the game. And that's the ball game as the Arizona Diamondbacks win it with a walk-off double. It's 1-0. They win it 1-0. Final line score coming right up. So the Arizona Diamondbacks defeat the Houston Astros in extra innings. Billy Buckner will get the win. Jose Veraldi will pick up the loss. Let's take a look here at the stats. Brandon Lyons, the last pitcher up for the Diamondbacks, he went 1 inning. An ERA of a 6.21. Buckner, who will get the win, he went 1 inning, allowed 1 strikeout, 11.89 ERA for him. Doug Broco, the last pitcher up for the Astros, he went 1 inning, allowed 2 hits, 1 strikeout, no ERA there. Jose Veraldi picks up the loss. He went 1/3 of an inning, allowed 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, and 1 walk, an ERA of a 1.50. And we've had 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 double plays in this game. This was a heavy double play game today, guys. So with that, the Arizona Diamondbacks will improve to 12-14, and the Houston Astros will drop to 12-15. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and a thumbs up when you're way through the turnstile. And remember to click that bell notification to be notified of when new videos in the 2008 replay go up, and when I go live with all of the Philadelphia Phillies games. Until then, I'm Yoko007. We'll see you for another exciting game in the 2008 replay with Inside Pitch. Until then, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.